According to many Western thinkers who believe in liberalism, international treaties and agreements are necessary for world security and stability. These multilateral approaches can guarantee the world security and stability by creating interdependency among many nations of the world. After the Second World War, the U.S. has always been trying to develop multilateral liberal regimes in order to keep its power and hegemony. But, nowadays, the world is witnessing that the U.S. President Donald Trump is walking away from many of these agreements one after the other, like Paris Climate Accord, TPP, NEFTA, and recently trying to scrap the nuclear deal with Iran, Jcpoa. To know more about the issue and to find out whether Trump's approach is a right and wise one, or finally all his actions will result in weakening of the U.S. power in the world, Payman Yazdani from Mehr News Agency reached out to Dr. Arthur I. Sear, director of the A.W. Clausen Center for World Business at Carthage. Referring to unilateral measures of the U.S. President Donald Trump, Dr. Sear said, "There is at least one thing worse than fighting with allies, and that is to fight without them." Winston Churchill with that statement summed up a basic truth of international politics and war. His statement effectively addresses your questions. Commenting on decertifying of the Jcpoa unilaterally by President Trump and its possible consequences for the U.S., Sear said Churchill's words bear directly on the current debate over the nuclear agreement with Iran. United States leaders seem to be preoccupied with talking to themselves, while ignoring partners in the agreement, including our most vital durable allies. He added, President Donald Trump has dramatically decertified Iran, arguing they are not abiding by the international agreement to deter developing nuclear weapons. This means Congress can now decide whether to reimpose economic sanctions. In fact, the Tehran government has carefully remained within the limits of the accord, while pressing at the margins. The actual agreement does not involve only the U.S. and Iran. The P-51 group that negotiated with Iran consists, along with the U.S., of Britain, China, France, Russia, the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council plus Germany. Secretary of State John Kerry in the Obama administration demonstrated phenomenal energy, dedication and effectiveness in brokering the complex accord. Sear concluded, the United States remains institutionally bound by membership in a range of international and regional organizations. As a current example, the U.S. remains within the international agreement on Iran's nuclear program, despite the dramatic statement by President Trump. Not many years ago, there was strong political sentiment in the U.S. for leaving the UN. That is no longer the case. Arthur I. Sear is the director of the A.W. Clausen Center for World Business at Carthage. He had served as president of the Chicago World Trade Center Association, the vice president of the Chicago Council on Foreign Relations, a faculty member and administrator at UCLA, and an executive at the Ford Foundation in the International and Education divisions. Interview by Payman Yazdani.